The president last night tried to convince Americans the sky is green, that trees can walk. So Democrats have 3 words for this. No way. It's literally life or death. We will not let Republicans blow up our healthcare system.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day 1.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard.
He devoted the last year to berating President Trump and forcing the longest government shutdown in history. Now, Chuck Schumer is the least popular leader in Washington, according to a new Gallup poll. The Senate Minority Leader falling behind Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Hakeem Jeffries, Mike Johnson, and John Thune. Fox News contributor Bill McGurn joins us now to react. You know, Bill, the old saying is in Washington is, if you want a friend, get a dog. I don't know if Chuck Schumer has a dog, but he may want to visit the kennel very soon. How is it that Schumer, who was just a year or more ago one of the more popular people in Washington, now dead last?
Yeah, good morning. Well, one thing, this is not new. Generally, Congress lags the president in approval ratings. You know, a president by nature, by the nature of the office, looks decisive, makes decisions. I don't know if anyone can point to anything Chuck Schumer has done except complain about Donald Trump the whole time. So in one way, it's not surprising. In another way, though, it really points to the Democrats' lack of an agenda. All they do is cry affordability or that Trump is becoming a fascist or something. They're not telling the American people, how am I going to make your life better? How am I going to reduce prices? How am I going to make us safer in the world? They don't have an agenda for that. They have an agenda of berating Donald Trump, and that's it.
Yeah, and you know, Bill, I want to get to the Democrats' message because I think you're exactly right. They have a real problem. But what's interesting is Democrats have been complaining among a number of things, including President Trump, but they've also been complaining specifically, what surprises me, they've been complaining about Schumer himself. Here's a clip of some of the Democrats calling for new leadership, and this is directed right at Schumer. Watch.
This is definitely a moment where this country wants new leaders.
Chuck Schumer's generation, Nancy Pelosi's generation, John Lewis's generation, they have so much to be proud of. It is time, though, for new leadership.
Do you think Democrats around the country think that Chuck Schumer should be the face of the future of the Democratic Party?
So they want Schumer out, but to your point about the messaging, the New York Times took note of that. Here's the headline: Can Democrats reinvent themselves as Washington disruptors? Since President Trump's rise, Democrats have served as defenders of a political system many Americans believe is broken. Now the party is trying a new approach. How do they do it?
Yeah, I don't think they do it the way they're going about it. All those people, what have they done when they were in office? Very little for the American people. They always think it's personnel. No, it's their policies. They don't work. Look at all the big cities in America. They're run by Democrats. There's scarcely a Republican to be found, and they're being run into the ground. Look at what's about to hit New York with Mondami. They don't have an agenda. It all gets back to substance. You can have buzzwords, you can shout affordability, that's fine, but you really need to have an agenda. And their agenda is solely, we don't like Donald Trump.
I think, Bill, the thing to watch is the battle in the Democrat Party when we're seeing these progressive left politicians, particularly those that are self-avowed socialists that are trying to primary Democrats. You have that happening here in New York, running against Dan Goldman, who's a far left congressman that probably has no challenger, now has Brad Landner, who is a Democrat Socialist of America guy. If the far left Democrat socialists continue to gain ground within the party in these primaries, I think we're going to see that message, and I'm not sure Americans are going to go for it. Bill McGurn, thank you for taking time. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.